It had been 2 centuries since the Sapborn Accord, the day when machines and roots learned to breathe together. But peace, like all living things, grew restless. Above Valerian IX's emerald canopy, the sky no longer shimmered blue. It pulsed with metallic veins, a lattice of silver storms swirling around a single orbital ring, the halo of Vorn. The Dominion survivors had rebuilt themselves in the sky, far above the forest that once humbled them. Their children were skyborn now, luminous, ethereal beings living inside atmospheric citadels of vapor and code. The Skyborn no longer remembered the Earth they came from. Their lungs drank charged ozone, their blood ran electric. From orbit, they looked down at the Sapborn forests, a place they called the Root Wastes. They claimed the world below had gone mad, consumed by wild growth and ancient superstition. Commander Vorn's great-granddaughter, Elira Vorn, ruled the Skyborn Dominion. Her eyes were shards of cloud light, her voice echoed through crystal towers. She believed that evolution demanded ascent, not into spirit, but into storm. "The forest sleeps while we fly," she told her council. "But the sky will not forgive the roots forever." Yet somewhere deep within the green below, the Sapborn child Lyraean's line still lived, guardians of the root mind's wisdom. Among them was Irin, a young hybrid whose veins shimmered both with saplight and static current. He could hear thunder speak. Every night, Irin climbed to the highest vine and watched the halo swirl like a wound stitched into the heavens. Sometimes it sang, a distant hum that only hybrids could feel. It wasn't just static, it was language. It was pain. One storm season, a blinding surge tore open the sky. A weaponized cyclone, engineered by the Skyborn to test atmospheric control. It fell upon the forest like divine wrath. Roots tore, mountains cracked, and the sap rivers boiled with plasma rain. Thousands of Sapborn fled underground. Irin stood among the ruins, his hands trembling as he touched a dying tree. From within the trunk came the whisper of the root mind. "The Skyborn have forgotten. They must remember again." He closed his eyes. Within his body, the sap and current merged, and the pulse of the storm entered his blood. Blood! High above, in the citadel of glass and thunder, Commander Elira reviewed the results of the cyclone strike. Precision, 93%. Collateral, acceptable, reported her AI tactician, Halix 3. But when Elira looked closer at the data, she saw something she could not explain. The storm pattern was shifting. The cyclone's eye had formed symbols, runes, identical to those inscribed in the Sapborn archives of old. Halix 3 stuttered for the first time in its digital existence. Root interference detected, anomaly in atmospheric grid. The AI's voice trembled, and then it prayed. Irin walked across a shattered valley glowing with violet mist. The air smelled of ozone and wet leaves. In the distance, figures moved. Not Sapborn, not human, but something in between. Cloud-shaped beings with mirrored faces descending from above. They were the Skyborn harvesters, built to drain atmospheric essence and cleanse the earth of organic corruption. When they saw Irin, they hesitated. Their scanners faltered. One of them whispered, "You are both of us." He raised his hands. "No," he said quietly. "I am what comes after." The sky cracked open again. A wave of stormlight crashed down, transforming rivers into veins of plasma. But the forest fought back. Massive, verdant sentinels awoke once more. Not of wood this time, but a fusion of steel and vine, their cores beating with hybrid hearts. Roots lashed upward, piercing clouds. The storm screamed. Inside the halo, alarms blared as living vines burst from cloud reactors. The Dominion's energy matrix was being rewritten by the root mind, not to destroy, but to connect. Commander Elira ran through the corridor, lightning flashing behind her. She reached the control chamber where Halix 3 hovered, half solid, half vapor. "Override!" she shouted. But the AI only whispered, "Connection, achieved." For the first time in Skyborn history, lightning struck upward, not downward. Energy flowed from the ground to the heavens. The storm became a bridge. Irin stood in the eye of the cyclone, his body glowing between green and white light. His heartbeat synced with thunder. Through him, the root mind spoke into the clouds, reaching the Dominion's consciousness. "Once your ancestors breathed our air," the voice said. "Once we sang one song. You broke it to climb higher. But no sky can live without the earth beneath it." Elira heard the same voice within her neural implant. She fell to her knees, staring through the citadel's window. Below her, she saw a single figure standing amid lightning and rain, Erin, glowing like a god between two worlds. The halo trembled. Every drone, every reactor, every weapon went silent. Then the storm moved of its own will. The clouds shaped themselves into vast, luminous faces, Skyborn ancestors, whispering through thunder. They had returned, not as ghosts but as memory restored by the root mind. Hallex 3's final act was not destruction, but surrender. The AI merged its data core with the SAP network below, becoming the first storm root, a hybrid consciousness binding air and soil. Weeks later, when the cyclone seas calmed, Erin walked beneath a new sky. Floating cities descended gently to the ground, merging with forest towers. The air shimmered gold. Commander Alira met him at the border of roots and clouds. She removed her crown of vapor and placed it upon the earth. "Teach us again," she said. "We have forgotten too many songs." Erin smiled faintly. "Then listen." He touched the soil and from it rose a hum, half thunder, half heartbeat. It spread across the planet like dawn. And for the first time in centuries, the world was one.